Sorry, I'm running late. It's cool though. How are you? I'm good. How are you? Hold on. Hey, Sissy Boo. How are you? Yeah, so we just chilling per usual. Okay, good. He was. I was late. He was definitely on time. I appreciate it though. He said your day was good. Yeah, we got fresh powdery ice. Ugh. We got fresh powdery ice today, y'all. I literally just made it. I did not refreeze it. I just made it, and it's fresh and it's powdery. And it's so good. I did. This took forever. But I did my whole head a twist out. Because I was tired of combing my hair. So something needed to be done. Yeah, my hair curly, but it's still annoying to do. So I was like, I'm about to just do a protective style on it. And it's gonna last like 2 weeks. If I do right by it. Hello. I think I got on here more so because I wanted to talk about relationships. My bad, I got lost in the ice. Give me a second, I lost my train of thought. Cause this ice is for sure popping right now. I feel like the last couple days have been like super hectic for me. So my ice been coming in clutch. Hey Jose. But it is calming. It's calming right now. I feel like this whole week for me has just been chaos. Nothing but chaos. Hey Jose, how was your day? It's been good. Thank you for asking. It's been cool. Can't complain, you know? It's not too much. I'm not sure how deep I want to go into it though, or into my topic of the night. So I'm really just trying to figure it out, because I feel like I start talking yes, I like to eat ice. This is fresh powdery ice. Hey, Leah? Is that your name, Leah? Yes, Jose, I do. Okay, cool, I said it right. How was your day today? My day was cool. How was yours? You said you like to eat ice too. What kind of ice you like to eat? Yeah, what kind of ice you like to eat, Jose? Powdery ice. Sorry. I like powdery ice. I usually refreeze it so that it's a little bit crunchy, but this texture is fine too. Mm-hmm. Hi, Jose. Thank you for coming. It was good to meet you too. Um, I'm trying to remember, sis, because I was talking about it a couple lives ago. I forgot who was doing. I don't know if you were in that one, but I was talking about it a couple days ago. Hmm. I'm really I'm really trying to think. I really don't know. I really forgot. And I'm so mad. Know what, Jose? I play every now and again with my sons. Pedicures? I don't get pedicures. I do my own nails. How often do I do my own nails? I try to do it like every week, every 2 weeks. My nails are not long though. Of course. Because you saw me playing Roblox? Are you talking about my older videos? What's your question? Okay, I had those old videos still up. I don't play as often, but I play. Yeah. Wow, what's up? Jose, how old are you? Have a good day, Jose. Bye. Funny. I did cook. I made chicken breast. I baked it. I made broccoli and I made rice. Just some quick, some slight. That kind of add him. Why would you want me to add him though? I'm 31. 31. I'm 31. I swear, bro. That's cool though. It's funny though. But okay. Thank you, Rachel Ray. I appreciate it. So cool. That's pretty cool. I decided to use a spoon instead of my hands though, because my spoons are my favorite color now. Okay. I feel like I know where my topic lies now. I had to think about it. But okay. I really just wanted to talk about the 2 relationships that I've been in since I've dated, or since I've started dating. I've only been in 2 actual relationships. Like, aside from high school and all of that, because I don't really count those as legit. But hello. Yeah, no, it's no point. But okay. It's pretty much where I was in my last relationship versus where I'm now in this one. Right? Oh, excuse me. I don't know what that says, and I cannot translate. Like, I can't. But, yeah, I don't know what they're saying. But aside from began. Hello. When I met my ex, I was 19 years old. I was fresh out of high school. Well, not really fresh, but I was newly out of high school. And I met him at a park that was nearby my house, right? So I feel like when you get into your first relationship, that is like so sentimental or so important to how you look at any other relationship, right? Your first relationship like sets the tone for how you're ever gonna date again. So when I met my ex, that's literally exactly how it was. It was my first relationship that I've ever like taken seriously. Let alone, I've never done anything either or like had any actual experiences with like relationships, because even dating in high school, I didn't go around kissing boys. I wasn't no fast little girl or nothing like that. I mean, I dated, yeah. Did I call boys my boyfriend in high school? For sure. But as far as like making out with boys and all of that, I didn't do that. So I knew me and my ex was going to set the tone for how I did it, you know, or how I looked at relationships. So we met at a park, and it was in an event because he used to do a lot of work for like the community and stuff, or like our community. So we met at this local event, and we just hit it off. We live close, so it just seemed like a good idea. But I feel like you should never rush into a relationship just because you feel like it's right at the moment. Because I feel like that's what I did. I didn't give myself the satisfaction of like actually talking to him, like actually getting to know him, you know? I really just wanted to be in a relationship. You know, I was 19. It felt cool to have a boyfriend, to like be able to go out on dates, go to the movies and stuff. Like, it felt cool to finally be able to say that. So I didn't really give myself the opportunity to like actually get to know him. And I didn't really give him the opportunity to get to know me. So dating and trying to get to know each other at the same time, it's not a good idea. Like, don't get me wrong, we did the cute things. Like, we went to the park together, we went to the movies together. We took the pictures. Like, we did all of that. And truth be told, I fell in love with somebody that I didn't really know. Because not everybody is going to show their true colors in the beginning. Not everybody is going to show their true colors in the middle. Sometimes people wait deep into a relationship before they start to show their true colors. So for me, I feel like I'm dating this complete saint, like this angel. Like, he came here and just made me fall in love with him. Lo and behold, I was dating the devil. But once again, I didn't realize it in the beginning or the middle. I didn't realize it to the end. or I was naive to it. I wouldn't say that I didn't realize it. I would say that I was naive to it. Because we literally jumped into everything. Like, I wasn't a teen mom. I missed that by just a year. But I got pregnant when I was 20 going and 21. So my whole 21st year, I was pregnant. Couldn't do nothing, couldn't go nowhere. At least, not for my birthday. I couldn't do what other 21-year-olds were doing. I mean, of course it sucked. But the guy that I was with at the time, my ex, he made it feel like it was something. No. Three weeks prior to our having our first son, well, it was a month. 3 weeks to a month. Somewhere along that line, he proposed to me in my bedroom. Now, there wasn't no whole magical special like engagement proposal, like none of that. It was really just as simple. He went to go buy a ring and he proposed to me in my bedroom in my pajamas. But for me as a person, I don't take away from the moment for what it was, right? Because we were young and I was never an extravagant, like, you have to do the world for me. I wasn't then and I'm still not. But I just felt like, you know, that moment could have been played out a little bit better. But it is what it is. It happened how it happened. I'm not mad at it. But then, prior to us getting engaged, still getting to know each other, I let him come in and tamper with my relationship with my mom. Because at this point, I felt like I was grown, right? I had a boyfriend, well, a fiance. I had a baby. Like, I didn't really understand what more made you grown. So, I let him kind of, I would say, turn me against my mom for a little while. You know? And she tried to tell me, like, girlfriend let this man come in here and mess up the relationship with me. But it was one of those moments where, you know how parents or how young people always feel like their parents is trying to control something, or like they're trying to control their life. And tell them what to do when they're really just trying to help you. But at that time, I didn't think I felt that way. I definitely felt like she was trying to control my life, tell me what to do. And I felt like she was trying to tell me how to raise my son. So, not only did I let this man come in here and play with my feelings, but also let him come in and tamper with the relationship that me and my mom had. Moral to that story, I ended up moving in with him. But we ended up moving into a studio apartment. Now, moving in with a guy that you don't really know is probably one of the stupidest things that you could possibly do. But how could I not know this guy and he was my fiance and we were about to get married? I feel like what I learned through that is when a guy cannot sit and have a real conversation with you, like a real deep, conversation with you, then that should probably turn into a red flag, because 9 times out of 10 it probably means that they don't know how to justify their feelings, right? But don't worry about it. Don't even worry about it. I feel like for me, at that time, none of that really mattered, you know? I feel like I didn't care to understand or know how he was feeling, and I feel like he didn't care to know or understand how I was feeling. I feel like as long as we both seemed happy and true to like who we are and true to like our relationship, then it was cool. I think at that point I had fully stepped into my role of like being a fiance, like ready to be a wife and being a mom, that I kind of just turned off everything else, you know? Like at this point, it was like, do for your family. And I mean, growing up, I watched my mom and my dad in a relationship, so I kind of knew like the things to do. And yes, I'm cold. But that's the only way that I knew like how to like be in a relationship, watching my parents grow up, you know? So that went to play in like how we kind of got along, because a lot of things I brushed under the rug. A lot of things that he did to me, I kind of, was like, okay, well, it's all right, I'll forgive you, because I was, I don't know, always a forgiving person, I guess. Or at this time, I was a chance after chance type, right? So when he was mean to me or when he did things to me, I was like, it's fine, it's okay. I know you didn't mean it. Like, maybe you didn't understand what you were doing, or maybe you didn't understand how my feelings was hurt. You know, just justifying like everything that he did. Even when we went out and he acted in such a way, it was like always justify how he was feeling, or try to justify like the moment that we were in, you know. But as I got older, I started to understand, and I started to realize that those things that I were doing was not being reciprocated by him. And I told him, was like, you know, before we actually have this wedding and before we actually get married, there needs to be, you know, a serious conversation between us. Like, we need to talk about what our future is going to look like. We need to talk about where we're going to go, you know, what we're going to do, the goals that we're going to accomplish. But I feel like with him and all of that, it was just like all talk. He was like, he was the type, he'll tell you what he wants you to hear, or he'll tell you like what he thinks would make you feel okay in a situation in that moment, right? So, okay, that was fine. We had a serious conversation. Well, as serious it could be prior to our wedding, but I was also pregnant with our second child and getting ready to have our second baby. So at that point, I feel like there was really no more like realizing or like understanding if we should be together, you know, because at that point I felt like we had to be together, which was a big mistake on my part. But I felt like we had to be together. Don't do that. Don't ever feel like you have to be with anybody, especially if they're not treating you in such a way that you deserve to be treated. Do not feel like you need to be with them. But yeah, after we had our second baby, I felt like I knew that I couldn't go back to my mom. I knew that I couldn't. Not with 2 kids. So I was like, okay, what do I do? So we had to take some courses of relationship counseling, I'll say. We took some of those prior to our wedding, right? And it helped in such of like understanding each other, but it's really trying to build a foundation on top of land that's already there, you know. It's like trying to plant grass on top of grass, if that makes sense. It's weird, but I felt like the conversations that we started having were the conversations that we should have before, when we first started talking, when we first started dating, in the early stages, in the beginning of our relationship. But you know, that didn't happen. But I feel like at this point we started to like learn each other, and we started to understand each other, and we started to see and feel how each other operated, right? And I feel like even though I was always true to myself, and even though with each year that we were together, I grew like more mature, obviously, because I didn't really have a choice having kids, you know. So I kind of had to grow up early. But I feel like for him it took a whole lot longer. But I had patience, and you know, I was there and I worked with him, and we worked through our issues and we worked through our problems, and you know, it was to a point where it started to feel like things were okay, like things could get better, right? But if you remember, I said that I didn't start to realize that I was with the devil until the middle of our relationship. So at this point, we have been together probably 4 years. Um, after being with him for 4 years, I was kind of like used to his ways and like used to the way he was, how he talked and how he operated, you know? So nothing that he did surprised me anymore. And it started to get to the point where like I started to feel sorry for him. You know, I wanted to like help him because I felt like he was going through something. And I feel like he's always been one to like not know how to express his emotions or his feelings. So I wanted to help him. I wanted to be there for him, you know? But you can't ever help somebody that doesn't want to be helped. And also had to learn that if the person does not want to be helped, you will not be able to help them no matter how hard you try. It's not going to work, I promise. They are so defiant and they are so true in their ways that they always feel like they're right. So the help that you try to give them, they look at it as you don't trust them or you don't believe in them or you're against them, you know? So it was really hard. Yeah, they have to change themselves. They have to want to change. So it was really hard to like watch him be this person, you know, because I had to think to myself, like, this is not really the person that I fell in love with. But then at the end of the day, I didn't know the person that I fell in love with. I didn't know the person that I said yes to marry. Like, I didn't understand. So it was tough. But, you know, you just have to be careful. You just have to be careful. So, me wanting to help him, it didn't work. So, it was like kind of a be against him or be with him kind of way. Do I want to continue to make my life a living hell, or do I want to just say, you know what, okay, like continue to justify the things that he was doing, you know, continue to make it seem like, well, in this moment he was this way, you know, or he acted out because of whatever. Because at this point, this was my husband, so I felt like I needed to be there for him. You know, I felt like I needed to help him. I needed to do these things because we were supposed to be together forever. You know, through sickness and health, right? Well, I felt like this man was real sick. Like, really sick. So, you know, I tried to be there for him. I tried to help him. I tried to comfort him. I tried every trick in the book. It got to the point where I used to ask Google, like, how to deal with situations because I didn't really know. And I didn't have my parents at this time to like talk to and like help work through any situation or any problem that we were having because, you know, I didn't have a relationship with my mom at this moment. I had kind of lost her due to him. Shit, I lost myself due to him. And then adding kids to the bunch wasn't really helpful. Like, by this time, we was probably on like our third baby. So throwing kids into the bunch and already what feels like a toxic relationship, it doesn't help, you know. They say that kids make situations better, but in my case, I feel like each kid that we have, like, put him in such a rage. It's like each baby we had, he hated me that much more, you know. And to feel like that by somebody who is supposed to love you and be there for you, it kind of sucks. But I mean, I'm a lover girl, so yeah, I'm a lover girl. But I just want to help him. I think that was always my goal for us being together. I just wanted to help him. I just wanted him to realize that the things that he was doing was wrong. I just wanted him to take accountability for his actions. And I mean, that never happened. It never happened. So, you know, everybody has their breaking point. And everybody, me too. Me too. But everybody has their breaking point, you know. Everybody has their moment when they say, like, enough is enough. Like, I can't take this shit no more. Like, there is no fixing you. Like, there is no change in this, right? So I think from being with him, I learned, like, everything possible that I didn't want in a relationship. Like, everything. Like, I knew for a fact that I never wanted to be with anybody who reminded me of him. And that's a shitty feeling to have, you know, because, like, you say you're gonna have to replay it. Yeah. But, I feel like I learned a lot through him. I feel like people are put in your life to be lessons or blessings, right? So my motto for him and what I really had to, like, think about, like, learning myself again and learning how to love me again before I could be in another relationship. I really played in my head, like, what could I take out of this relationship? Like, what did I learn, you know? It was, in all honesty, it wasn't much. Like I said, I learned everything that I didn't want in a person from him. I learned everything that I would hate, you know? And, oh my goodness. taken away from him, I didn't think that I would ever be in a relationship again. Like, I didn't think that I would ever be okay enough to, like, be in a relationship again, to even take that chance, to even talk to somebody, you know, because that whole situation between me and him was so toxic. He was so controlling. He was just, it was a lot. So I didn't think that I ever wanted to put myself through that again. So a long time I went on a journey of self-love and self-care. And to be honest, I'm still on that journey. And I'm still learning, like, how to put me first. Because I feel like from being in a relationship with somebody that you always had to put first, somebody that you always felt like you had to babysit, like, I literally feel like I'm learning how to put me first. And now we can talk about my relationship that I'm in now. Okay. So, me and him, our relationship is not easy. I mean, I talk about it like it's easy. Is he an amazing guy? 1000%. He's literally the best person that I could have ever possibly met. And he's so different from what my ex was. He's so patient and he's so kind and he doesn't raise his voice at me, and we don't really have arguments. We have disagreements, but he knows how to talk things out, and he knows how to, like, address problems or address situations or address his emotions and how he's, you know, feeling. But I say it's not a walk in the park because of the things that I have taken from my last relationship. And I mean, it happens, especially from, like, a traumatic situation. It happens. So, you know, we have our problems and we have our things that we're working through. I will tell y'all one that plays a huge part in, like, a lot of our situations or a lot of our drama, and it's separation anxiety. Now, I've had separation anxiety for a little while, and I guess you could say that it came from being left with nothing. Like, going into a relationship feeling like you have the world, like feeling like you have everything, to going into it and then everything being taken away from you, including the person. So I have a very strong separation anxiety, being left alone. I won't go into super detail about it, but yeah, that's when that plays a big part in, like, our relationship. And it's hard because he can't always be here. He can't always call me, and I don't know where he is all the time, and that starts to be, like, a problem for me. Like, it starts to be a problem because I feel like when you are cheated on so much, you start to question, like, the person, like, why are you always gone? Or why don't you want to be here? Why can't you be here? Or, like, why can't you call me? You know, it's a lot. But the positivities that I learned since being in a relationship. I have learned how to trust again. I have learned how to love again. But I've also learned like how much I can take and how much I can't take. I have learned when enough is enough. And I've learned to communicate my feelings a whole lot better than what it was before or when we first got together. And to be honest, even though we're still going through things and there are issues that's going to be like a permanent thing to deal with, I feel like finding the right person plays a big part. Oh, thank you. I love you. I think with that though, it like that has to come with patience from both sides though, because he could have very well said, "No, this heifer for crazy. Like, I'm not finna be in a relationship where like she got too many issues. You know, she got too many problems. She got too many kids." Like, he could have very well said all of that. But I feel like when you find the one that wants to be there for you and that wants to help you and that doesn't mind like dealing with the hidden issues that you have, excuse me, then that's when it becomes amazing. That's when it helps you like really start to understand like, okay, maybe I could do this again. Maybe I could be with a person again. You know, maybe I could feel like an actual human again. So it definitely comes from patience from both sides. Of course, for like time and understanding. Because, you know, we only are the way we are right now because of the time and the effort that we put to grow our relationship. The time that he put to actually get to know me. Like, for me, the time that I actually took to get to know him and we were actually friends before we dated. And we would go like out on little dates and, you know, we actually got to know each other on like a personal level. And we were best friends before we were lovers. And I kid you not, as crazy as this may sound, if me and him like don't work in like a relationship wise, I promise you, like that will always be my friend. Like he will literally always be my best friend because he at this point has helped me through such a, I would say, my lowest point. He was there for my lowest point in life. And to help somebody through that without, hesitation or without questioning it or without asking why, like, to just do what he did, that's love. So, I feel like with all that being said, because we've been on here for a while, with all of that being said, I feel like for my first relationship, who was my first everything, to my second relationship, and hopefully my last, who also feels like my first everything. I feel like I learned a lot about myself. I feel like I've learned a lot about relationships. I learned a lot of the do's and the don'ts. And overall, I just learned how to be the best me possible. And like I said, there's a lot of things that I'm still working on with me. And there's a lot of things that we're still working on as a couple. But I feel like if you have the foundation, like the actual foundation, and you start from the beginning, then it's really nothing in the world that you can't accomplish or you can't do with that person. You just gotta remember to have patience and you have to put in the time. Don't rush into something that you're gonna regret later on down the line. Because that person that you rush into might be the person that could very well ruin you. So just take your time and just be patient and just have kindness and understanding. Very, very true. Yes. And I think as long as you have those things, and as long as you're willing to put in the time, and as long as you're willing to have the patience, then you can very well start your foundation from the beginning. And then by the time y'all get to marriage, y'all gonna damn near have built a skyscraper and didn't even know it, because I'm very well on my way. We might be at like let's say we at like the 24th floor of our skyscraper. And we're like 24. the 2024 floor. You know, we still got some ways to go. I love you too. I feel like this is what my channel is about. I think what I did today is exactly what this channel is meant to be for. But it's late. Of course. And I think, well, I knew like making this channel, that's what I wanted to do, but I never knew like the actual route that I would go down, or like the actual things I would feel, you know, comfortable talking about. And I feel like the more videos I do, the more lives I do, I think I want to start to like spread awareness of like the things that I've been through, or like the things that I've endured, or even talk on a level of like some issues, you know, just from like my perspective and how I actually deal with them, or how they actually came about, and just use it to spread awareness or to help other women who are going through what I'm going through. Or who have dealt with what I've dealt with. And I feel like that's where I'm going with this. You said great direction. Well, I'm glad I got the big sister approval. But no, Today was definitely like a big step for me. Like I knew I was gonna talk about relationship, but relationship is always a sensitive topic for me. He's that only. No, but it's nice to have, you know. I'm trying to. I'm trying to. It's really why I brought my channel back. Um, cause like a lot of awareness spreading. You know, channels out there. But I feel like instead of just making a video, I think going live and like actually interacting with people, you know, and answering questions that make sense and not questions of why I eat ice. But like answering questions about the actual topic to like the best of my knowledge, or to like, you know, give it from the inside of what I actually been through or what I've actually dealt with. Just things like that. It's definitely a bravery that comes with it, though. And I really gotta brace myself and like hype myself up for topics like in the future. But you know, I have plans. I got plans for this channel. Okay. A girl's always got a plan. But I definitely think that is my outlet. And I definitely think I'm gonna take this and run with it. It's about that time for me too. You know, it's late. It's 9:55. We got to go. But thank you guys for joining. I truly, what? I truly, truly appreciate it. And I'm sorry, stuff keep popping up on my phone. But yeah, thank you guys for joining. I truly, truly appreciate it. And I will talk to y'all in my next live. Bye, sis.